everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Wheel of Time, Episode 8. This is the finale of the second season of The Wheel of Time. The episode's name is What Was Meant to Be, directed by Sana Hamrin, written by Rami Park and Catherine B. McKenna. It stars Rosamund Pike as Moraine, Daniel Henney as Lan, Zoe Robbins as Nynaeve, Madeline Madden as Ewain, Joshua Stradowski as Rand, Marcus Rutherford as Perrin, Kate Fleetwood as Leandrin, Donald Finn as Matt, and Natasha O'Keefe as Lanfear. So, before I get into spoilers, let me give you some high-level thoughts. Uh, what a great way to close out a season. Everything really had been building up to this episode. All the pieces in the puzzle, or all the pieces on the board, just moving towards this encounter or this reveal. And I gotta say, I think as much as I enjoyed the last season, I think this one just was a lot better. The world felt a lot more lived in. The stakes felt higher, and even though all the players were separated at the beginning, it was a really fun journey to bring them all back. There's a lot of big payoffs for our characters arc. There's been a lot of growth, I think, in some of these characters, and some of the characters have remained a bit stagnant. But I think everyone had their time to their chance to shine. Nonetheless, yeah, I really enjoy this. I feel like this season went by so fast. I also got to say, I think the change in locations was a lot of fun. I think we spent a lot of time in this Flamel place that's more of a deserty area where compared to like being in the tower or the forest or wherever we were last time, last season. We get definitely some really beautiful shots. I think this show has always had just really nice establishing shots. But yeah, we definitely are moving through this world and just kind of like building it as we experience new things, as we go to new places, as we meet new characters. So that's really, really fun. So, highly recommend you check this out. If you haven't seen it and you're still watching this video, I'm gonna get into spoilers because otherwise we're gonna be here for 30 minutes. Let's get into it. We begin with a flashback of 3,000 years ago. There was a little meeting with Luz Theron as we saw how he sealed Ishmael. Uh, Luz Theron, I think it's how you say it. But yeah, that was really interesting. It's always been the relationship between the two and Lanfear, that whole triangle of friends. I think they definitely wanted to mirror a little bit of Rand and his relationship with his group of friends. Obviously, there's different personalities, and I think overall the goals of Ishmael and Lanfear and everybody around like are very different. They have different plans for the Dragon Reborn. But it's still really interesting to see. Interesting to see how Ishmael got to be sealed up in the first place. I wonder if we're going to examine that a little bit further later on with some of the other lieutenants that we know are out there or will be out there. So yeah, then we cut to the credits. We start with the White Cloaks, which I gotta say, my least favorite group in the series. Like I don't like them. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what their mission is. I don't know if they're supposed to be good guys, bad guys, or they're just kind of like on their own side. But yeah, they're planning to attack. It's just funny because when I was watching, they were talking about attacking a tower. Obviously, to me, that always meant like to me the tower has always been the White Tower. But then I mean, we are given to understand that it's actually the tower in Falm, um, which is where we've been spending most of our time this season. Like everyone's been moving there because the prophecy says that's where the Dragon Reborn will announce himself. So really cool stuff. Lanfear and the gang, as we saw last episode, they're in the little way gates, moving around, and she drops off Moraine and Lan somewhere a little bit different than when she ends up. At first, I thought it was in Falm, but then I realized that it was just not as close as they ended up being, as Rand and her ended up being. So, um, Then we cut to Perrin and Avienda as they also arrive. So everyone's arriving at the same city. So I knew this was going to be like the big battle sequences. Ishmael and Lanfear have a little chat in the dream world, and I think Ishmael has been not very trusting of Lanfear because of his previous experience with the triangle of them of Luz Duran, her, and himself. But every time they go into the dream world, I think it's really fun to change the setting. Like everybody, like it's cool to see how they kind of adopt their own persona and look. So yeah, of course, the White Cloaks end up attacking the city, and they're going after everything, like pretty much not everything that moves, but everything that moves with an armor. Like they are they are full on war. At this moment as well, we see Nynaeve as she goes undercover, as she dresses up in the armor. Like Rena kind of looks like very same look, like they were able to ambush someone last episode, so she's going undercover to try to find Ewain. At this same time, we see Rena and Ewain preparing for battle. Man, Ewain has gone through probably the most shit this season, but she is, to me, and I'll talk more about why, she's the MVP of the season. I don't think a lot of the things, like she's the one that has had the most growth, and it's because she's gone through so much terrible shit. So yeah. Um, on next we go see Lanfear betrays Ishmael. I put that betrays in quotes because I think that was, depends on whose point of view you're looking at. But they speak to Matt about killing Rand, and he's given the blade. Um, he's given that blade by Patton Fane, who we know has been on the Dark One side all along. Uh, then we cut to Moraine and Lan discussing the the restoration of their bond. I didn't even realize that she since she had been shielded or whatever was happening with her, I didn't realize that she hadn't retrieved the bond. I just figured once her powers came back, like it would also come back, but they have to kind of redo it. There's a really cool scene where it's got great music in the background, a really nice setting. They're in like this kind of beach setting. It's just really calm and serene, and both actors just like their expressions and the way it was shot with the camera moving around them. It is really cool as they restore their bond, and you know that was one of the better moments. I think like this whole season they have been severed, and now the payoff is that they are back, and I think together they are so much better, and they both know it. But I don't know why Moraine was so hesitant about restoring the bond. So the battle starts very quickly. Like just things escalate. Loyal has stolen the horn, as their plan was from last episode. Rand comes in and he confronts Lord Turak and his goons, and boy, he just made quick work of them. Like it was great, a really cool effect. Like I think anytime Rand uses his powers, they really try to embellish them and make them different a little bit from all the other people that use the weave. I think it's very different, and it's supposed to be, right, because he's the Dragon Reborn. He's supposed to have different powers, and that's the reason why people are hesitant about letting the Dragon Reborn use the powers kind of on his own. Um, Next, we have Matt as he works on avoiding the dagger. This was a really funny scene. I think it almost felt like a Home Alone, Great Escape type of thing, where he was like using things that were left around the room. I don't know why. I don't know why it tickled me so much. But man, Matt also once again he went through a lot of shit. The last season and this season had not been great. But I'm glad that I feel like we kind of brought him up. He gets a really nice moment later on. Yeah, as I said, there's big battle. I think it feels like the sets, like they really built all these sets for this big battle in the city, which was really cool. Like it gives it a feel of more realistic and a lived in world. So that's really cool. Um, then we see Ewain as they're fighting. Ewain rebels in the middle of the battle as Nynaeve and everybody kind of approaches, and then the tower, because of that, is hit by a catapult. There was a moment earlier where Rena told her that any, if she rebels, if she continues to rebel, like she'll cut off her tongue and then her hands. But actually, she ended up cutting her hair, which she thought would affect Ewan more. And I feel like that's a, I think her hair was very important to her. So that was hard to watch, as much as she's gone through. But she's willing to deal with it. Um, Something really funny that I put on my notes, and I don't know how funny it really is, but as Nynaeve and Elaine are going in undercover, Elaine gets stuck by, she gets struck by an arrow, and then in the knee or in the leg, which I thought just really funny to that meme. And everybody's kind of getting together at this point. Like things are coming together. Perrin and Matt reunited. One of the beautiful. I really believe that these characters are friends. Like they are always so happy to see each other, and part of it is probably because they've gone through so much shit together. But I feel like they all kind of grew up in. For the most part, they all kind of grew up together. They were friends, so like that really makes sense that they would be so close. Um, then because of the catapult thing, Ewain, whenever someone who's wearing those collar they die, it falls off. So Ewain collars Rena, and now she's willing to kill her as she told her she would in the last episode, because now she controls her. And of course, Ewain is a lot stronger, and she gets to, she's finally free. And this is the moment I knew, like, she was the MVP of this episode. Like, just all the shit she's gone through, even though everyone was rushing to help her, she was able to escape herself because of her actions, and I thought that was really cool. And right after she's free, Ren finally arrives. They also have a really nice reunion. Like, yeah, it is just nice to see these characters kind of reunite. I think the actors really bring a lot of emotion to those scenes, probably more than any other scenes. Like whenever they reunite as friends. So Ishmael comes in, confronts Rand and Ewain, although he very quickly pushes Ewain off. She's been through a lot of shit. She's pretty hurt. She was hurting herself by hurting Rena because they were still connected, which is a very weird loop. And then Matt is the only one. He's the only hope to get the horn to Rand. And of course, we saw from the visions from earlier in the season that everyone believed that Matt would kill Rand with that horn. I mean, with the dagger, right? But he's the only hope to get up there. So Perrin tells him, "Just go. We'll take care of this." Uh, Unfortunately, one of the White Cloaks kills Perrin's wolf. And I was so sad. That moment really hurt because I think part of it because of the bond that they had established. Also, like you don't want to see animals get hurt, and also just because your parent it has a really good bond. Like it's a very good portrayal, and parent kind of goes a little berserker. Like he starts just hunting the dude that killed his wolf, which was just like some like very out of character for Perrin. You don't really see him lose his cool as much. Next, we come to probably top two or three moments of the episode for me. Matt's in trouble. He's trying to get the horn over to Rand so that he can do his thing. And then he realizes that he's the one that needs to blow the horn. And the biggest payoff, the biggest moment of redemption for Matt, who from the beginning, like since he touched that dagger in season one, things haven't been the same for him, right? He was left behind by the group, or he chose to stay behind, I guess, to be fair. And he blows the horn. Everything has a really cool moment of like slows down. We see a few different places where everything just slows down, and it ends up summoning the army of the heroes of the horn, which you'll see some familiar faces. And Matt realizes that he is one of those heroes of the horn. He remembers. So the blowing the horn unlocks those memories for Matt. It was a beautiful moment because up until this point, I think Matt felt like he was a burden on his friends and the people that he's trying to help. But now he can finally help them, right? Really cool costumes for everyone. That like all the, it almost felt like if you've seen Avatar, when you see like some of the old avatars, how they are all like I'm talking about the last Airbender, where each of the avatars is very different because they come from different backgrounds and they're kind of different warriors. Same here, like these, all these warriors are very different, and like I mentioned, you'll see some familiar faces from earlier in the season. That are some characters that are brought back via the horn. So yeah, great redemption for Matt. Cry phase emoji on this one as well. On this one and the wolf, I put cry phase emojis in my notes. So there you have that. Nynaeve tries to help Elaine, right, with the arrow, but she's not good at it. She realizes that she's not good at healing. I do like that they included Elaine, as they know they need to team up. Now, I don't know where this leaves Nynaeve, because I feel like she's not she the her lack of confidence is really hurting her place in what I feel this group is. Like she's just kind of there sometimes. So maybe this character is a little bit underserved by the story. Um, but they finally go. They get to the. Everybody is pretty much getting to the top of the tower where Rand is facing off against Ishmael, and Egwene's also there. Rand declares that he will never serve the Dark One, which is this is the moment where I think Ishmael's plan comes to fruition. Matt throws a spear. Well, he made a spear with the dagger, and of course Ishmael, that was up his bag of tricks. He was expecting that to happen. Matt accidentally hits Rand with the dagger, and he because Rand is being shielded, he can't really use his powers, right? He can't really defend himself, and this is where Egwene steps up, and she's the one now trying to shield Rand while everybody else helps him. As she's losing and her shield's about to break, uh, Perrin gets there with another shield, like a magic shield. So they're able to hold the fort until everybody else gets there. And finally, Moraine realizes that she's the one that has to help Rand get remove the shielding that's being placed upon them. Now, all these people were in some ships, which were, I mean, this was really interesting because like I don't think we've never seen magic on this level, where Moraine has to pretty much from the beach she uses magic, and this is a really cool moment too because now that her and Land have their bond back, Land is being attacked from one side. Moraine has to focus on destroying the ships on the other side. So really nice, cool back to back, and they're you really can tell that they are back in sync. So of course, as I mentioned, Perrin arrives to back up Egwene, while Elaine starts to heal Rand, and then Moraine finally destroys the ships that are holding back Rand. And this is where the Dragon Reborn finally gets back up. He's healed, he has his power back, and he uses his sword to stab Ishmael, which is just very cool moment. Like it's a really nice payoff of like finally seeing him. Uh, I think this season, Rand and his friends prove to Ishmael that he's different from him and what he thought was going to happen. Like he thought the cycle was going to repeat itself, like what happened with him and Lanfear and Luce Theron, right? But that's not the case because Rand is a completely different Dragon Reborn. So I think that was a big theme of like breaking the cycle, right? This has always been kind of the theme of the show of trying to change things and breaking the cycle and make sure that things are for the better. And I think Rand and his friends proved that no matter what the odds were, like nothing went as expected, right? Matt didn't grab the dagger. Nynaeve believed in herself. Egwene was not just somebody that was going to be defeated. Perrin found like the strength to go help protect his friends, which is kind of like he found this pack, I guess you could call it. Yeah, and then Rand is now believed, and he is proclaimed the Dragon Reborn. Really cool visual. The CGI was a little wonky on this giant fire dragon, but I mean, at this point, whatever. They've had a great season, and this is it. The fight ends, and the Dragon Reborn has been proclaimed. The people cheer. We are all very excited, but of course, they can't leave us at this moment. We have a little, not really after credit scene, just like a prologue, um, or an epilogue, where Lanfear's walking through the halls, and we meet Mog Hayden, who is really cool. I don't know if I said that right. Mohedin, maybe, who has really cool spider web powers. And we find out that Ishmael let everyone else out because he feared Lanfear's betrayal. Now, Mohidian, I don't know how to say the name of the character. Help me out in the chat, in the comments. Uh, this character is the only one that's there, which I think is really smart by the showrunners, because this way you only have to cast one person, and then you can take your time with casting everyone else that's been freed, right? Everyone else is somewhere else. And then what does this mean for Lanfear? What does this mean for this new character who is pretty powerful? As I mentioned, the spider web powers that are being wielded, visually they look very cool, but also they are very powerful. So I think next season we're definitely gonna see Lanfear maybe face off against a few of these new characters, and maybe I don't know where her loyalties lie. I don't know what she's trying to accomplish anymore. I just think that she loves, or at least cares for Rand. So we'll see. But I think Rand's heart is somewhere else. If you've been following the series, so I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But it was a really cool way to end things with like, oh, you think things were cool, but here's the bigger threat. Ishmael did definitely had ulterior motive. Like he had a backup plan, I guess, which was really unexpected. So yeah, as I mentioned, really enjoy the payoff for most of these characters. I think they did an amazing job. I think Nynaeve was probably the only one that I felt was a little underserved. Like she had a really strong start, but then with the introduction of Elaine, I feel like she got kind of lost in the shuffle. Like is Elaine going to be part of the group now? I mean, she's supposed to be ruler of every, like, ruler of the kingdom. So like, what's gonna, like, is she going to be part of the group? Is she going to leave all that behind? Yeah, but I'm very glad Moraine and Land are back together. We still know, like, there's still people in the White Tower that are dark friends, and people are not aware of this. Like, so that's still out there. That's a threat. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff. I don't know when season 3 is gonna happen, but I know that I feel like this show's pretty popular. Usually, when I do my review, I look at social media and I see what people are saying, and there's a lot of people very excited about this. So, and of course, everyone that's been watching throughout this whole season has been great at just like filling me in with some lore. So if you have read the books, I don't want to know spoilers, but if you read the books and are still watching this video, leave in the comments, how far are we in the books? I know they changed a lot of things. I've talked to people, they say they changed many things. But what's the pacing like? Are you enjoying the pacing? Like, based on that, how far are we? Is there anything from the books that's been omitted that you think we'll never see again? Stuff like that. Is there any? I know Matt, I think, had a really big change for this. Like his character arc was pretty different, because I don't believe he was even kind of supposed to be as part of these books that are being covered in this season. So I don't know. Let me know what you think of all that. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for watching this whole season. It's been amazing and so much fun to do these videos and interact with people. And now we have to wait it once again. All the shows that I'm watching are kind of running out for the summer, and now we are getting into the fall. So stay tuned. We'll cover more stuff in the channel as it comes out. And thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. Stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to do one more video, and then I'm also going to release like a compilation of the full review of every episode. If you want to, throw that in the background, or go back and revisit all the things I said. So I'm going to cut that together and maybe add a little bit of an intro or a prologue or an epilogue, and do more high level thoughts on the season as a whole. So thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.